Good evening, everybody. Today is July 28th, 2021. I'd like to call the meeting for the Porte City Redevelopment Commission to order. We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. I know JT McDermott's working, so he's not here. I see that Jenna Francisconi's here, Betsy Parkinson's here, Damon Gasaway's here, Brian Chalak is here, so we're only missing one. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? I'm going to close public comment. It is 5:16 p.m. Minutes. Has everybody had opportunity to look at the minutes for the June 30th meeting? Everything good with those? Any corrections, additions? Everything good?
Make a motion to accept the minutes as seen on the.
As presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes have been passed. Claims. Everybody seen the claims? Not a whole lot there to look at. Any questions or comments? None?
No.
Good.
I need a motion.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Do I hear a second?
Yes, I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Claims passes. Old business, Don George property public offering update.
Just real quick, so the Board of Public Works received one bid, and that was available. It was received under advisement, so it'll go under discussion for the next Board of Public Works meeting on August 3rd at 9 a.m. It's at the Healthcare Foundation this time around, so they will be considering potential changes to the process and what that looks like, because we only received the one bid on the property, and what we're going to do with offering the property, because there were some questions that we had about that. That's the proposal.
You think they're going to accept that one proposal? Nick?
It'll be up to the Board of Works. So I think we're waiting on some kind of legal review and different things in order to make a really solid recommendation to the board. But it will be up to them. One bid, and the bid was under the average of the two appraised values. So, it'll be, like I said, up to the board to review that information. We'll provide it, and we'll give them some recommendation and kind of information on process for that meeting.
Okay, so if they approve it August 3rd and the deal's done,
Correct.
we don't have to reapprove any of that, do
No.
we? No.
No.
We just save the money for tearing the place down.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So
I watched the Board of Public Works.
City-owned parcel, but with it being kind of within a redevelopment area, participation by the Redevelopment Commission was definitely appreciated.
Okay.
Or willingness for participation.
Yeah, we tried to. We tried to spend money. Okay, any other old business? New business, East Shore Parkway light pole replacement quote.
So I included in your packet a quote from MCOR for East Shore Drive light pole replacement. I sent you all a picture of the light pole that was right in front of the fire station. That light pole was moved. It was on the last meeting's claim docket. And so we need to replace that light pole there. It's right along the chassis, or the East Shore Trail extension.
in front of the fire station. Right? That's on the fire station?
Yeah,
East-
fire station, yeah.
Because we already placed one in Newport Landing, right?
Correct, it's going to be replaced.
I think we were waiting
waiting on
to hear back from insurance before we,
That's my next question. Do we ever find out about the insurance?
we have not heard back from insurance yet.
Okay. And we don't have, do we have a claim on this one? Because this is a different pole.
We just have a quote.
I'm not sure, we just have a quote for this one.
Is this the pole that, this is the pole they took, right?
Yeah.
And put it in the other place, so is
This
there-
one was moved.
So I mean,
to
is
that
it
other
3
spot.
poles altogether or just the 2?
I think it's two.
I mean,
Could
they
just be
took
2.
one and, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know we were talking about the
Hold on.
claim, an insurance claim on the one in Newport Landing, because that was hit by a semi, correct?
roundabout.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what happened to this one.
This was also a vehicle, and there was a claim.
Crash.
But I don't know that, we got the money back that we needed to complete the work, so.
Could we find out about those?
Mhm,
Somebody?
definitely.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're kind of costly little things there. Okay. Anything else there? Anybody else have any questions? Other business? Nick?
I had one item, and then I have another surprise one.
Oh.
For your benefit. But
Amazing.
Not even asking for money on the second one, so don't worry. I'd sent out an email just a day or so ago. Flaherty and Collins is ready to start doing their leasing, and they don't have occupancy, so they'd like to put up a leasing trailer across Truesdale. And with that being redevelopment commission property, we wanted to get your approval for them to do that. So we can either formalize it in a temporary easement, or we can, I think, approval at this meeting would probably be acceptable as well.
I don't have a problem with it at all, actually, but the only thing I do have a problem with, you probably need to cut the weeds and stuff on down over there off
Yeah.
of Truesdale so you can see the
Yeah,
trailer, do you think?
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
Definitely.
Nobody will even go into the place. They won't even know it's there.
Definitely encourage that. Maybe some nice planting.
Yeah, and maybe those 2 dead trees that are sitting out there.
Yeah.
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 How long do they expect this trailer to be there?
So they plan to get occupancy sometime around November. So it's really kind of a maybe 6 months is what they're thinking. It's not meant to be a long-term leasing office. It's really just meant so they can
Start.
get that first phase of apartments leased up, and then once those can be occupied, they can also occupy their leasing center.
Matt, do they have to have any type of insurance, liability insurance while they're there?
Yeah, that's what I would like to make sure
Draw it up.
that we're protected.
Okay.
Because they're gonna have people in and out of there, particularly, you said it's across Truesdale, so is that in the
Yeah.
gravel?
That's a
lot?
gravel parking lot, isn't it?
Yeah. I would wanna make sure that, that we're named as insureds on their liability policy for that.
What I can do is we can use the same format of the NIPSCO easement on the Dietrich property.
Okay.
And that included the requirement for insurance.
Okay.
So if the commission's accepting of that, what we'll do is we'll draft that up and have Brian sign it when we have it finalized.
Snow removal and things like that, they'd be
Yeah.
responsible for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, general
Hopefully
maintenance
no
will
snow
throw in
General
there.
maintenance, yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
6 months or so.
So I guess we need a motion, correct?
Mr. Chair, could I get a clarification on the East Shore Parkway light pole
Sure.
quote on that? If, what the guidance is from the RDC board on getting that replaced? Getting,
I think we approved that, didn't we?
did you,
There was no
There's
motion.
No motion?
miss that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll make a motion
I think
for
I
that.
missed
Let's
it.
go back to the new business East Shore Park light pole replacement quote. I need a motion to see that we can spend the, what is it, $4,400?
Do we need to figure out first if there's any of that covered by insurance?
Pending insurance,
Okay.
because the insurance money would come back anyway, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we have to replace it.
We'd have to replace it one way or
Yeah.
another. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the MCOR quote for the light replacement on East Shore Parkway.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Just want to make sure we get, you know, some sort of answer on the insurance thing.
For both, actually, not only for this one, but for the one in Newport Landing.
Yeah. I mean, an email would be good, you know, sometime the next week or so.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Your replacement poll is passed.
Thank you.
Now, back to the trailer at Flaherty and Collins. I need a motion there if it's okay. Per legal. Motion to approve the trailer.
Yeah, make a motion to approve the
Leasing
trailer
trailer.
being set up there for that period of time, you know, pending what
Legal.
council says. Needs to make it happen, so we don't have any liability.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion on the trailer? Shouldn't hate to say it's for Flaherty and Collins Leasing Office. A motion and a second. No other further discussion. All in favor, state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes, Nick.
And then the other item I had under other business, so we realized that with staff changes and, you know, Tom Casey leaving, and I think there was kind of an intention for some type of budget workshop with kind of, between us, we haven't been able to get that moving, but it's time to do that.
Okay.
So we'd like to schedule something. Clerk Treasurer's Office would like it scheduled within the next 2 weeks. The earlier, the better. So a budget workshop would not require a quorum. So if people aren't able to attend, we can kind of meet individually and go over things. And it is a public meeting. So if we would set that now, then we could kind of not have to publicize and go through that process, because if we set it in a meeting, then we are essentially legal.
So we
should
have to
say.
do the budget workshop in a public meeting?
Well, it's a public meeting, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a
Thought we were-
workshop, so there's not the same kind of requirements for quorum and things like that. So if there was a time within the next 2 weeks, or, I mean, next week would be ideal, where at least a few were able to attend, and then those who aren't able to, we can schedule kind of follow-up meetings. We can maybe get that set and make sure that the RDC has, you know, good input in kind of how the funds are being split up for next year. We have a list of projects that kind of keeps circulating through, so we'll provide that. I think maybe we can get it to them by the end of the week,
Yeah.
just so they have a little review time. And then other things that you'd be interested in adding, anything like that, either let David or I know, and we can make sure that we kind of come up with rough budgets for those items. Just want to make sure that we're getting the projects that you all are most interested in kind of in the budget, so we don't have to do too many additional appropriations or move funds around, so.
Okay.
I am
What-
out of town for the next 2 weeks, so.
Okay.
Yeah, when are you leaving?
Pardon me?
When are you leaving?
I leave Saturday
For 2 weeks?
for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Maybe we could touch base towards the end of the week then?
You mean the next 2 days?
Yeah. There seems like so much week left.
Yeah.
Every day is so long.
Well, initially, I thought we were gonna get, and maybe I got confused on this, and I don't know if that's the same way you got it. Initially, I thought with Tom, we were gonna get together to talk about the budget and we're our input. Then you tell me we have to have it as a public meeting too. Is that the same thing?
So anytime that there's potential of a quorum, open door law would require that to be a public meeting, and a workshop to discuss budgets would
Okay,
would
so
cover
it's the
that.
same thing.
Yeah, so
all right.
it's not, yeah, I mean, we could meet individually, but I think it's probably a better from a policy standpoint to make sure that everybody's hearing the same things, and kind of seeing, you know, where everybody's opinions as far as investment through the redevelopment commission and where it goes, where it's directed.
Why is timing so important?
They want to adopt the budget in August, so they'd really like to have some thoughts as soon as possible. So. And again, I apologize. This was one thing that I think between shifts and staff and everything, we just we weren't able to get it to you sooner. So.
What time of the day would this meeting be? After
What,
typical work hours or during the day?
whatever works.
Can we move it to 3 weeks? It would be like the middle of August, and you would be here, right? So like the 16th, 17th, somewhere in there, and or maybe even the 18th.
We,
I don't know what your timing is with the
Potentially.
budget.
16th?
yeah, I know that, I know the clerk treasurer's office asked if we could do it within the next 2 weeks.
You know, if we did it on the 16th? It wouldn't give
Well,
much time.
let's do, I can't do the 16th or 17th, I have to do the 18th. Or the week before, but that leaves Betsy out, and I don't particularly care for that.
Yeah.
So, are we good with 3 weeks or not, do you think? They're not even here.
I was, yeah.
No?
Courtney was going to be and she wasn't able to.
Has to be in the
Probably
next 2 weeks.
Shoot for the second week,
Yeah.
So the next 2 weeks, I'm fine
get you time.
any day then.
Yeah, any day but Tuesday for me, so.
Same here. Any day but Tuesday.
Any day with me, yeah. I can't do the 4th, but I can do. You want to do Monday the 2nd, or you want to do it earlier?
Would Thursday the 5th work?
Thursday the 5th, fine with me.
Do,
Thursday the 5th, okay?
Does not work for me, but I don't know that I need to be there.
I don't think it's necessary.
Wouldn't think so.
You don't need to be here? Thursday the 5th? Any
We can-
particular time?
5:15 work for everybody? Is this kind of,
We can, I mean,
This is your time.
make it earlier if you want, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Anytime.
You want to do it
Oh.
earlier?
Sure.
Yeah, whatever time. I can make anything work.
I can make anything work on that day.
okay,
Earlier,
like maybe 4 o'clock would
4
be
o'clock?
great.
4's fine. 4, even if you want to go in the afternoon, it doesn't matter to me. You tell me.
4's probably,
I think 4 o'clock's nice because
That's
we,
good.
in the past, we've liked to try and have non-regular meetings either kind of on that lunch break
Lunch break,
time
yeah.
or as close to the end of the day as possible, just not to interrupt schedules too much. So 4 o'clock works well, I think, on our end. So if that works
4
well
o'clock,
for
or you want to
everybody,
do noon,
or noon.
or noon. We used to do those all at noon, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make a difference to me.
Yeah, just say the time, I'll be here.
Or-
I'm just making a decision.
Let's do 4 o'clock.
Say
I think there's a better chance that JT would be able to make it if it were later in the day, most likely.
Yeah.
4 o'clock?
Perfect.
4 o'clock it is on the 5th. Per attorney's advice.
And we're meeting here.
Yes.
yeah.
And I think if you take official action to set that, then we meet our open door law obligations.
Okay, we're going to have a budget meeting on August 5th.
Have somebody make a
Right.
motion.
At 4 PM, so I need a motion to that
Make the
effect.
motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? August 5th at 4 PM in City Hall.
Got it.
All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Set in stone. Any other comments or questions or any other business that we have?
No, I had sent you an email earlier about
yes.
what was going on with Newport Landing and the landscaping.
Yeah, and David was kind of coordinating that earlier too, so he can kind of speak on that
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah, so,
I am too.
yeah, there was a little miscommunication with the streets department. They ended up going out and doing half of it. So Lakeshore Seasonal Services has been doing all the landscaping. They also had some misunderstanding that they were supposed to do the middle area too, and starting to grow up with weeds. So they're gonna do that over the next couple of days, and they're also gonna work on doing the area just south of the medical complex too. It's also just a grass area. It's the same
Very high.
tall grass.
There were areas that were not in their contract as well, so the street department had previously gone out and mowed those areas. So when we asked them, and then before we had our Lakeshore contract, the street department was mowing the whole thing. So when we asked them to assist, they got very excited and started mowing. But we really just kind of needed the areas along Clear Lake Boulevard cleaned up. We want to make sure that everything looks good for Lake Fest coming up this weekend, and we appreciate street department's help, and Lakeshore has been,
Yeah.
better understanding of what we're expecting to.
Lakeshore wasn't responsible for that area that was
The-
closer to Truesdale, or?
Yeah, there was an area just south of Truesdale by the fence to the Banks building. It's grown up with weeds, so I contacted Streets, and I think they're gonna try and take care of that along the road, so.
Well, I was out there a couple of days ago and they hadn't touched it. Then they were back there this morning to start mowing it. They mowed part where Kensington is, and then the other side was never touched for probably, I don't know how many months. It was high.
Yeah.
They were mowing that on this afternoon. I saw them this afternoon. I thought that was Lakeshore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Lakeshore came out later than today after Streets.
And I
had-
also drove around back there by the Dunes Club and all that, and that is just
Oh.
pathetic.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll have to look at that because some of that is not our property, and we probably need to go through code enforcement, and some of it is. So between,
And I know some of that's wetland back there, I guess, but you ought to be able to see the wetland.
yeah,
I mean, it is horrible.
great. And the other thing to mention is State Board of Accounts kind of, as they review things, realize, and we knew that this was coming up, but so the maintenance contract for Newport Landing actually came out of the Redevelopment Commission and is in the Planning Department's budget currently. So the intent of the Redevelopment Commission isn't for long-term maintenance of things, it's just for
Right.
that initial investment. So we've actually moved the funds for Lakeshore out. Now, I think there are a few things that would still be considered kind of less day-to-day maintenance and more improvements that may show up occasionally on the docket, but by and large, that contract, it now sits underneath the planning department's budget. We're also talking with the clerk treasurer and trying to figure out, as Newport Landing developed, the intent when we had our Holiday Properties as our master developer was the creation of a property owners association to maintain kind of the things our street department wouldn't normally. But now that we don't have them as a master developer, we may want to look at either forming a property owners association or something similar to like the bid district, the business improvement district, which, could potentially take on maintenance function for that area. But a lot of the infrastructure was built really for private development to be taking that over as it built out. So more on that to come, but great question, because we the more eyes we have on it, and the more we can make sure that we're getting it done.
Regardless
better.
who pays for what, it needs to be taken care of.
Exactly. Yep.
I was kind of, did we pay Lakeshore to do something that they didn't do? Or-
No, it was just that they didn't realize that they were supposed to do that area, and I told them that they have to.
That's confusing. So we did pay them to do something they didn't do, or?
They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I had to inform them that they were supposed to be mowing that middle area in between Newport Boulevard and Truesdale.
Okay.
So we were paying them for things they weren't doing? Because the contract didn't change, right?
No, I'd have to go back and check, but I don't think, we weren't getting, because they weren't doing the work, so they weren't putting in the hours for the mowing. It was, so they
Oh, it
pay
was
by
by
the hour.
hours.
Yeah. So they weren't charging us for it.
Okay.
And that's, it's good to see that the money went to a different account. I like that, so we
Yeah.
can spend money. But it'd be nice, I was
Yeah.
always, I was still under the assumption it was under us, so it'd be nice to get that information too, that something moved out of our budget or.
Which is fine, but like I said, the main point is that it still needs to be maintained if we're either gonna
Yeah.
do anything with it, regardless who pays for it.
It got long.
Well, and I mean, Newport Landing is so key to the redevelopment commission that, we
Absolutely, yeah.
definitely need to make sure it gets done well.
Any other business? Do you have any other business? No? I do not. Bert?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Okay, buddy.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. No discussion. All in favor, state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? You don't get to say anything. We are adjourned.
Yeah, we're driving.